What's up, everybody? It's your boy J Ross. Today I'm gonna be hitting you with another comic review, another 90s flavor for you. We're gonna be doing Batman vs. Alien. I believe this took place back in like '94. We got some notable names up in this one. We got the writer on Marz, legit name back in the '90s, big name. I read some of stuff. I enjoy what I have read. And art is by Wrightson. I'm not too familiar with him. I've heard his name everywhere. It's not a new name to me, but I have personally not been exposed to his art much. So this was kind of my first story I've read with his art, and honestly, guys, I'm not impressed with it. It wasn't great. It was very average at best. He was big back in like the '70s, so this is a '90s book. Maybe age caught up to him a little, so I'm gonna cut him some slack. It might just be chalk it up to age. It's been 20 something years later after his when he was the shit, right? I gotta read some of his '70s stuff just to see how I compare the art. But here it was very average at best, and some parts that I didn't like was he drew guys like really over masculine, big heads, big arms, and so forth, and then the hands were like small. I felt that was such an easy thing to correct, like just make the hands bigger. Have somebody edit that shit, have another artist hop in or tell him draw them bigger. I thought that was something pretty simple, which they did not do. Like the way I wanted to be engaged with a horror story, you want to be like focused on it. You want to be engaged by every little movement, because horror stories tend to be a little slower. They're not fast action paced. They're a little slower. So when something big happens, it doesn't happen. Big moments don't happen often. So when they do, you're like, oh my god, right? And I feel like I didn't get that from the art. And another problem I had with the writer as well was I felt like I don't know if he knows if he grasps the concept of aliens. Just by the way he started the story told me like, oh, we're already heading down the wrong path, my boy. Like he started with Batman landing in a jungle, in a Hispanic jungle like in Guatemala or something, right? With a lot of like Egyptian type ruins, pyramids and statues and so forth. Felt very Predator like. I was like, I think he's confusing Alien with Predator. I don't think he knows what's going on here. Like I think he had a Predator story, which was pretty good. The story's pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but I think he had like a Predator story in his mind, and they handed him aliens, so he just ran with it. You know what I mean? Cause you're in a jungle, you got pyramids, you got statues and ancient scribbling and so forth. That was very, very Predator in a alien story. When you doing Alien, first of all, always keep them in space, in a spaceship, even in a submarine, another planet, whatever. But you don't bring them to Earth. You just don't do that. And that was like big misread to me. That was a big miss. That was like wow, like But other than that, the story itself wasn't bad. It's just the setting, I guess you could say. It was a typical horror story, but the setting, like, I felt could have been somewhere else, not Earth.
Alright, so here you have this panel right here, Batman. He looks like too pretty boy, too clean cut. He's landing in this jungle and so forth. They're not bad. The narrating's pretty good. It's not bad. He's landing and right when he lands, you see right here, lands in the water. He's swimming and whatnot. We have this female soldier. What are you doing here, right? Batman says. She says, don't move, sucker. Pointing a gun at him. Shoots. She shoots. You think she's shooting at Batman, but really, look, she's shooting at this alligator. The alligator is really well drawn. I'm feeling that. But yeah, so that's Batman right there. She was creeping up behind him over here in the first panel. And, of course, Batman being the man, he's fighting this crocodile. Hand-on-hand combat. Starts choking him out right here. I thought the way he drew the crocodile was really well drawn. So he gets him here. Starts choking him. Ties up his mouth, right? This is sowing the seeds for later. This it's one thing I like. He played that long game with the crocodile. Bring him back around later. You say, what's the point of the croc, right? So here's Captain Silly giving Batman orders. You see Batman saying, is that an order? He says, yeah, damn right it's an order. He says, I don't take orders. So Captain Silly and Batman having a little dick measuring contest. He wants some of Batman. He wants to prove he could, he's the real leader, so he can earn the respect. And here you see Batman hitting him, smacking him around. Typical white billionaire keeping down the black man, that shit just ain't right. But anyway, so He gets them right here, and they hear something that the one of the other guys, I believe it's Vanderpool, shoots in the air, calm everybody down, and look what they find: some ancient ruins. Ancient ruins. Our here is very nice. Look at the trees. Feeling this, you know, right here. Look at this. You see the characters down here. The art is cool, so they figure out, you know, this ain't story gets deeper, right? This is something. It's some type of alien spaceship, so they know they're dealing with something from outer space. They're telling Batman, you know, this government shit going down, and you shouldn't even be knowing this. Batman says, oh, you know, he's Batman. They know he knows a lot of stuff. They don't know, so he can keep a secret and whatnot. They're absorbing what's going on. Now Batman's here. They're walking into the ship. Batman is looking for one of Bruce Wayne's workers. Of course, he's Bruce Wayne, so he's looking for one of his workers that's gone missing out here. Being the master detective, he figures out this is all been eaten up. Look right here, like with acid. Here they found the first victim, just nailed down to the wall. Typical alien stuff. They nail them to the wall and impregnate them with the face huggers. Here's one of the eggs. Bam. So you know it's all bad. It's all bad, homies. Look at Batman here. He gets one of the face huggers. Grabs him here. Look, it's been coming out of his chest. This guy's dead already. He puts it in a Ziploc bag. Look at that shit. He's a fool. Like, trying to keep it fresh and shit. Damn. That's crazy. But yeah, he keeps it for evidence. You know, he's a master detective. He's going to experiment on it down the road. Which I thought that was kind of cool. It's pretty clever. Here's this guy freaking out because he hears the monkeys chirping everywhere, making their noises, and he's just seeing what he's seen, so he's paranoid as hell and freaking out. Get that fire here. Look at this. This does capture good horror feel. You know, it has some panels where, you know, it really works this art and it really captures that feel. Then other panels where it's just, you know, not bad, just average. One of my big things was with Batman. He seemed too clean cut, too pretty. Like, you know, you should have made Batman a little different, give him some more shadowing, some inking or something. Now the woman is the one that's willing to embrace Batman and trust him the most. So you could kind of clearly see she's, you know, in every horror story, one makes it to the end. Obviously it's gonna be Batman, but here there's gonna be somebody besides Batman, and it clearly looks like it's gonna be her. As far as from what I'm feeling here, when I was reading it, I was like, it looks like it's gonna be her. Yeah, because I don't think it's gonna be silly, because he's too hard-headed. He's kind of like Batman's villain in a way. Now here they find another body all tied up. He's telling them these aliens. He's telling them to get down. These aliens got me. They put something in my face, whatever, to reproduce. And the soldiers, you know, they're hearing the whole situation. So is Batman. Silly, the captain just shoots him because you heard his story. He was just clearly gonna become an alien too, or reproduce more aliens. So he's a lost cause. Batman says, "Why'd you kill him?" He goes, "It's a lost cause." So they start fighting, whatever. But here, Batman, I like what they did here. Batman is clearly in the wrong, so he's not always the smartest guy in the room. Sometimes the other people know better than him. It's not always him that knows what's best. This is one of those things Batman can't do. He can never just kill someone. This guy could, because that's what had to be done. And Batman's arguing with him, but he's in the wrong. They calm him down right here. They tell him, look, he was already a lost cause. He was going to be a future problem. Batman comes down. Even though he doesn't want to accept it, he realizes that Silly was correct. And, you know, he stops trying to fight him and respects his decision, that it's a tough decision he couldn't make himself. While he's doing this, bam, here we go. First appearance of one of the big aliens fighting Silly. Silly's, look at his face. He's clearly shocked, like, what the hell? He shot the alien right here, look, bam. But the aliens squirt, their blood is like acid. So here's his blood, squirts right on Silly's face, and he gets burned. His face gets burned, look at him. Damn, but obviously they don't know this at the time. Typical alien thing, one of his tropes. Look at this. This panel is badass right here. It really captures that horror feel. I could just picture Ridley being there. This was a nice panel. Every alien food, there's gonna be a part where their blood comes out and burns somebody. That's just common sense. Now Batman uses batarang how he did on the Croc. Bam. It's not bad right there. But look at his hands here, how small they look compared to like his head and everything else. It just looks weird to me. It looks off. Disproportion. Page where the art really shines. Cause look what he did with the panels. You see that guy. This is Vanderpool. Spots the alien. Look at the next panel. He zooms in a little. You see that look of horror. Look at that. So you really catch that horror vibe there. And then you have 3 panels here. Look at the first one. He's still kind of scared and traumatized. He's holding them. But then the next panel, look, you see a close-up of just the alien's mouth and face. Like this is what the victim is looking straight at. We, as the reader, are looking directly at what the victim is looking directly at, which I thought was nice. And then you see here his his eyes, so you know that's directly what he's looking at. It really did like honestly in these 3 panels, you really didn't even need dialogue, to be honest with you. The art told a great story right there on its own, without us having to need any words. Here's Batman trying to fight him one-on-one. Clearly the alien's gonna be stronger than him. He's just, regular human. Look at here, the crocodile swimming in the pond. A slow build-up. See that crocodile leaving the lake. He finds, look at right there, he finds the alien egg. And bam, the first issue ends. This is a two-issue story arc. It's covered to the next issue. Nice cover, I'm digging it. Not sure who does the cover, but I like it. Like the colors, like they went with soft colors on it. Now let's get to the next issue. But this one ends on a real nice note. Like you see the alligator finding the egg, and you know what happens when with aliens, they always try to mix one weird alien that's crossed with something different. Now the second issue, look at this. It shows Bruce Wayne with his family. We all know the Bruce Wayne origin story where his family gets killed, but here it's a little plot twist. Here he's leaving with his family, and look what happens. Instead of them getting killed, an alien face hugger grabs them. So this was a trip. It's like, what the hell? Did they change continuity, or is this just an alternate universe, or what's really going down? So the alien comes out of the body. So that's cool right here. It leaves it up, to the reader. It'll be whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be in continuity, if you want it to be whatever you want it to be. So once this is happening, there's his parents. One had the alien pop out of the chest. One still has the face hugger. And look at Batman. He's getting an alien too. And he wakes up. He wakes up scared. Now this is a big moment here because Batman is rarely shook, startled, scared, whatever. That just rarely happens to Batman. And here he wakes up scared. And she tells him like, wow, like I guess you are human after all. Because he woke up from a nightmare. He had nightmares. Which we all know Batman always has nightmares about the Batcave and so forth. But these other people don't know that. She was like, it seems like you had a nightmare and so forth. So it shows, I like that it shows Batman scared as well because it's a horror story. So he should be scared just like everybody else. Added that, it shows he's vulnerable as well. So you could kind of get the feel like, oh man, like he's also scared. Maybe he can also go. He's human just like everyone else. Which I like because it is a horror story and he should also be scared and paranoid. He shouldn't be so cool, calm, and collected. Here's the alligator. Now here you see the alligator. Oh, he slips it upside down. Because you already know that the alien's going to burst out of him. So it's going to be, so you already know what's going down right there. There's going to be a new alien. There's 2 at this time that they're looking for. A third one's about to hatch right here. Now here you see the female. She sees the guy Vanderpool getting caught by an alien. He asks for help. She just watches, right? She doesn't help him and she doesn't want to kill the alien. So look what she does here. She just sees his demise. And she just chooses to shoot at the air. Batman hears the gunshots, of course. Here's the gunshots. Goes back to kiss the swimming pool and so forth. Nice panel movement here. It's not too bad. You see him flying back. But she shot at the air, and then once Batman showed up, she's being all manipulative. "Oh, I tried my best to save him, so on and so on." She really didn't even try to shoot the alien. She just shot at the air. Because she wants to catch the alien alive for her, government or whatever, so they can experiment on them. She'll move up in the rankings. And she's a woman, so it's hard for her to move up in the rankings. She has to really put some work in. And this is her one way to do it. In her mind, she could be also, it's also her road to being rich for discovering this alien. Here she's crying, being manipulative, and you kind of don't know what's going on, why they should shoot in there, but you get a vague idea until right here when Batman turns his back, bam, clocks him. Clocks Batman, says, I gotta move up. It's hard for a woman out here in the workforce and so forth. It was a nice little twist. It shows here that the real enemies, it's not the aliens, they're just doing what's in their nature. The real villain is humans. Because look at what humans will do for money and what they'll do to move up ahead in this world. The alien is just doing what's in its nature. You could easily kill him if you feel like it. But the people, look, she hit this thing that has all kinds of stuff recorded and whatnot. And she's showing she's more evil than any alien, because aliens are not sentient. They're not smart beings. And when Batman tells her right here, she's about to kill Batman. Look, he tells her, watch out behind you. Bam, look at this two-page spread. It's just, this shit is fucking badass. Look at how big that alien looks. Look at that big crocodile tail. This alien is huge and it means business. Look at that tail. It's half alligator, half alien. And it's coming after her. This panel, they did a really good job of leaving it to the next page. So when you see this small panel, right when you change, you're like, oh shit, like a big two-page spread. That was just good work by the artist here and the writer, teaming up together to make that scene look a lot more dynamic. Grabs her, of course, she's a goner, and that's what she deserves for being a betrayer of the human race and looking out just for herself. So after the alien kills the broad, Batman's fighting it off, and whatever, he falls into this lava tube. That's the end. Look at him right there. So like I said, that was about the end of the story right there. I left a few things out and so forth, but you got the gist of the story. And I'm gonna give this one about like a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was solid story, nice horror story. You really got the vibe of, oh, who's gonna go next? Who's gonna go next? You knew they were all going to go one by one, like any horror story. Any good horror story will give that suspense of who's going next and who. And it did a good job of that. And also silly, honorable death. He didn't go out like a punk. He went out, pretty brave. He showed he had balls. He wasn't just an ass with Batman. To protect his soldiers and whatnot. He showed, he kind of redeemed himself, that he was a somewhat likable character. He was just doing, what was in his nature as a soldier, as a captain. And the big plot here was, like in every alien stories, if you notice, they all have this thing going on where you always have that one character that betrays the rest of the platoon because he wants to keep some type of evidence. He wants to keep some type of evidence to further his own career. In this case, it was the female. She did all that and failed, but we saw what her motives were. She wanted to move up, talking about it was like a little feminist thing going on where, oh yeah, women, we get held down. We hardly get these positions. Now that I'm in this position, it's hard to get for a woman. I have to make the best of it and move up and so forth. So she didn't want to kill the alien, and she was willing to betray Batman and risk her own life and his and everybody else's in doing so. So you know how greed can be, and the real villains here is not the aliens. They're just like a rabid dog or a crocodile or a lion, whatever. They're not bad. They're just doing what's in their nature. The humans know better than that, and the human that chooses to do that is a lot worse. It's a little moral for you right there in the story. I like that as well. Gave me a little bit of everything. You walk away learning something, feeling like you learned as a person and grew. Like, oh, I should never do this, and so on. And you got to see a badass half crocodile, half alien mutant thing going on with this big tail and all that good stuff. You got to see Batman be a detective. Oh, in case you're wondering about that alien he put in the Ziploc bag,
he killed it, threw it away. 'Cause he said we shouldn't know about this because humans might use this as some type of biological weapon. And Batman ain't about all that life, you know. He ain't about all that. So he said it's better off just killing it. You know, we don't need it around, which is the right thing to do, which is what the woman should have done, right? But I like that it was a nice little twist that they made her because she seemed to be the loving, caring one, and it was nice to see really she was the wicked asshole one. That was cool, you know, to give the female that role once in a while. They don't always have to be the victim or always the perfect princess. Feel me? And here she wasn't. It came off that way at first, and it was a nice little plot twist at the end that you know really brought the story along. Doing that, it added a little something to it because it was before that it was a little stale. It was a typical alien coming killing one by one, and that little plot twist added a lot to it where it switched it up enough where you didn't get bored by it and it didn't feel generic and typical same old type of thing. All right, so if you like what you saw, guys, hit that subscribe button. And you know, next to the subscribe button, there's gonna be a bell. Hit that bell. That way, it'll notify you when my next video's up. Or let your phone or your computer, whatever, know that my next video's up. If you like watching them, you know, that's a great way to support the channel. Also, you know, all your support. If you could, if you have Twitter, Facebook, whatever, retweet it, share it, and so forth. That'll be really appreciated. And I would love to hear comments in the bottom, what you liked, what you didn't like, because I always read all my comments. So whatever you didn't like or whatever you wish could I could change, I'll try my best to do so and make the videos better for you guys and for myself. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Check you guys out next time.